for everything to feed their main search business, which is an absolute moneymaker for them.
So essentially, what we thought we were getting for free turns out we weren't getting it for free. No surprises there. If I can bring in Julia Hobsbawm now. I mean, our relationship with email has changed a lot, obviously, since 2004 when Gmail launched.
Well, it kind of has, but it's never gone away. I mean, it's the main medium and the purveyor of the main message, certainly in white-collar work. Everybody depends on email. There's 350 billion emails sent a day, and the market's set to grow. And I think that rumours of its demise are exaggerated. Slack and other communication platforms which grew in popularity and which have now caused a lot of trouble in offices with, people arguing on them the whole time, were supposed to sort of replace email, but nothing has actually replaced email. And yes, it might be a bit boring and unglamorous, but it sort of still does the job.
Boring, unglamorous, and in my case, certainly tens of thousands of unread ones in my inbox, which scare me every time I look at it. And Mike, if I could bring you back in, Mike Isaac from the New York Times, just to talk a bit more about, Gmail and Google's business model. I think in 2017, it stopped scanning Gmail users' emails in order to target them with personalized adverts. I mean, probably most people wouldn't have known that it was doing that in the first place, but why did it have to stop?
That's when regulatory agencies really started waking up and pushing back on some of these companies, and companies like Google and really Facebook for a very long time enjoy getting as much data as they can as long as they're able to. But that is not to say that they don't still do it in other ways. They collect tons of information on us, whether it's through Chrome, their internet browser, or through obviously search, or the fact that they own Android, which is the operating system on phones that, more than half the world has at this point. So even if they pull back a little bit on one of their products, like Gmail, they can still sort of collect a lot of info on us through the many ways we use Google.
And Julie, I'm sure as people are listening, they're thinking, well, what are the different messaging apps and pieces of software and programs that I use on my computer to communicate, whether it's instant messaging or email? And do you observe as the years go by that the dividing line between what we may use in the workplace and what we may use outside of the workplace has become far from clear?
So we're all sort of enmeshed and embedded in the workplace, in working around technology in multiple platforms. And this is part of the problem. We're overloaded. To your point, Katie, I think the world divides very neatly between those that let their emails rack up and those like me that are really neurotic and absolutely have to have a clear inbox at the end of the day or I feel I'm going mad.
Yeah, definitely people in my team look at me and go slightly sort of red blanche when I...
It's one or the other, isn't it?
I think I used to be Julia and I'm tracking across to being...
Oh, good. I'm glad you're joining me. I'm luring you that way.
Yeah.
Well, we're all ending up in that. But I mean, just in terms of emails, cultural significance relative to any other of the mediums, you only have to look at popular culture, that wonderful episode in The Office when the manager tried to, put people under surveillance and ended up oversharing something. Bridget Jones, even in The Dropout, the BBC's hit show at the moment, the killer moment in the story develops when an email is sent. Email is absolutely critical and I just don't think it's going anywhere.
That was Mike Isaac of the New York Times and journalist Julia Hobsbawm. That's it for today. Join us next week. And if you'd like to hear a longer version, search BBC The Media Show, wherever you get your BBC podcasts.
This is the BBC World Service, looking into Oregon's radical drug decriminalisation policy.
For the past 3 years, Oregon has wrestled with the country's boldest ever attempt at undoing the war on drugs through a groundbreaking new law, Measure 110.
The state's new drug decriminalization law turns possessing small amounts of street drugs into a violation, like a traffic ticket.
I've been speaking to lawmakers and people who work and live on the streets at the coalface of the state's drug crisis.
There's been a 1,500% increase in fentanyl overdose deaths.
The state was painfully ill-equipped to handle this new surge.
Fentanyl is more addictive, more lethal, and cheaper than any drug. We have significant challenges ahead of us.
A reckoning with drugs in Oregon at bbcworldservice.com/documentaries or wherever you get your BBC podcasts.
This week, we speak to one of our younger listeners from Doha who has asked for our help to thank a man for a gesture of kindness at the 2022 World Cup. Meet the scientists employing elephant seals to explore the ocean, Also, the critically endangered mountain chicken frog. 6 froglets have been born at London Zoo. And a festival that's helping preserve rare languages. I'm Harry Bly. Join me for a selection of uplifting stories after this news update.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. Burmese rebels say they've launched a mass drone attack on the capital, Naypyidaw, targeting the main military headquarters and the Air Force Base. The National Unity Government, which represents the elected administration overthrown in a coup 3 years ago, said it ordered the attack, which involved nearly 30 drones. A UN official has told the BBC its convoys in Gaza have been hit at least 3 times in the past month by the Israeli military, though without sustaining any casualties. The claims from Juliet Tuma of the UN's Relief Agency for Palestinians have not been independently verified. The former Speaker of South Africa's Parliament, Nosifiwe Mapisa Nkukula, who's facing corruption allegations, has been arrested after handing herself into the police. She's denied soliciting bribes. The NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg has marked the alliance's 75th anniversary by saying that it must be doing something right, as it had grown from 12 countries at its inception to 32. Its newest members, Sweden and Finland, abandoned their neutrality as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The authorities in Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv, say 4 people were killed and a dozen injured in fresh Russian drone attacks. Residential buildings were targeted. Meanwhile, Ukraine is preparing to launch a state register of land contaminated by mines and explosives. The government says a quarter of Ukrainian territory is affected. Emergency workers in Taiwan say more than 600 people remain trapped in place after Wednesday's earthquake. Almost all are guests and staff of a remote hotel who can't leave because of damaged roads. The star of the Tomb Raider series, Lara Croft, has been named as the most iconic video game character of all time in a new poll of global gamers. The vote was conducted to mark the BAFTA Game Awards. BBC News.
A gesture of kindness that cemented a love of football for one young fan.
If you were the man who gave me the Japan football jersey at Doha Airport in 2022, please email the Happy Pod so we can thank you.
This is 10-year-old Zeke, and he needs our help. From the Global News Podcast, this is the Happy Pod. I'm Harry Bly. Also in this episode, we're in Chile. Meet the scientists using these animals to help with their deep-sea research, and our theme of rare languages.
Bom dia a todos, eu sou Daniele Ietoi di San Zos di Noiar, in Friul, naturalmente, e benvenuti a l'Apipod.
One listener from northern Italy got in touch.
Hi, this is Daniele Ietoi from San Giorgio di Nogaro, Italy. Welcome to the Happy Pod.
It's almost 2 years since the Football World Cup was held in Qatar, with Argentina claiming victory. But this story isn't about football itself. We received a message from the mother of one of our younger listeners, 10-year-old Zeke from Doha. Zeke went to watch his favourite team, Croatia, play Japan. After the match at Doha Airport, a man gifted Zeke a 1998 Japanese World Cup football shirt. It's part of a football tradition where supporters swap shirts at the end of the game. And Zeke wants the Happy Pod's help to track this man down to say thank you. Zeke and his mum, Mohana, told us their story.
We enjoyed 2 weeks of the 2022 World Cup here. It was amazing. And Zeke and I were on our way to New Zealand, and we got out of the taxi at the airport, and I found out he had flip-flops on and no jacket. And this older Japanese man pointed to Zeke, and then he pointed to his shirt and made his way over to us. So he just dropped his jersey right over Zeke's head, and that became Zeke's jacket for the next 3 days until we could get to the store.
And Zeke, what was that like for you? Did you expect that gift?
No, it was actually very surprising. I was just really cold. And then out of nowhere he came because Japan lost at night. I was actually supporting the team that beat Japan.
Okay.
Croatia. My favorite player is from there. His name is Luka Modric.
I see. Okay, so you were supporting Croatia, and then after the match, you ended up getting the other team's jersey, but you were still grateful for it.
Yeah, and after the World Cup, during like the Asian Cup, I actually started to like Japan.
What have people said to you when they see you're wearing the Japanese jersey?
They're very surprised because it's actually very big, goes down to like my knees. They're just happy I'm supporting their country.
And what do your friends say?
My friends are usually like, Zeke, you gotta stop wearing that. It's way too big for you.
But you're going to keep wearing it, aren't you?
Yeah, because then one day it'll fit me.
After the AFC, we tried to find this gentleman through social media just to say, like, hey, you gave this to Zeke 2 years ago, and he ended up wearing it to a game, having a great time. But we weren't able to find him on our own. So,
well, that's where we come in. I mean, we have listeners all over the world, including Japan. We'd love to help track this man down. Are there any details? Perhaps, Zeke, can you remember what this man looked like?
He was probably mid 60s, I think.
Good guess, yeah.
And he didn't have a lot of hair, but it was gray. And he had a tiny beard.
Yeah, I felt so bad because we were in such a rush to get to our plane that I did manage to take a picture of them together, but it didn't even occur to me to say, like, oh, can I airdrop this to you? Or it wasn't actually until we went to the AFC game that I was like, oh my gosh, we should try to find this guy and let him know we still have the shirt and Zeke is still wearing it. He very much looked professorial, sort of. He was standing outside of the Doha airport, and I guess he was going home, and that would have been around December, I think it was 6th or 8th, 2022. He was catching a flight from the Doha airport.
And Zeke, if he's listening, by any chance, if he's listening to the Happy Pod right now, what would you say to him?
I would probably just say thank you for this gift, and I hope I can just find you in the future and just give you my
jersey in the future, maybe.
Jersey.
Is there a Qatari jersey?
You can go get one.
I would say just thank you for taking the time out to just spread the love of football. Thanks for telling us about a whole tradition we might not have experienced otherwise.
Mohana, Rajakumar, and Zeke. We've talked before about exploring the depths of the ocean. In November, we learnt about newly discovered cold water reefs off the Galapagos Islands. Research like this normally uses complex, remotely operated underwater vehicles. But one team in Chile is using a very different type of vehicle for their deep sea research. They're relying on a group of southern elephant seals. At up to 5 meters long and weighing over 4,000 kilograms, these enormous creatures have monitoring equipment attached to their bodies, and over time will collect information about the waters they swim through and their own migration patterns. Maritza Sepulveda, a marine ecologist at the University of Valparaiso in central Chile, is leading the project. So, how did they attach tags to these mammoth creatures?
Well, it's not so easy. The veterinarian was behind the animal, trying to not be seen, and put anesthetics just to relax, and the animals go sleeping. And after that, the rest of the team collect some samples, measure, weight the animal, and also to put the tag.
So, reassure me here, it doesn't hurt them, does it, when they're wearing this device?
No, not at all, because you use very strong glue that we put on the hair. So it's really not painful at all.
And so far, what have you been able to find out about elephant seals that you didn't know already?
We put 6 devices, and we are seeing that the different animals have different foraging behavior. So the information we are collecting is really new.
And of course, this is not just about seals. You're also gathering data and researching the ocean under the sea. What are you hoping to measure and perhaps discover?
The oceanography studies are really expensive, and the area, the fjords of southern Chile, are very complicated to reach, and some places never been studied before. So we are using the animals as oceanographers.
Yes, so it's almost like you've employed the elephant seals as like exploration vehicles almost. They've got the tech on them, and then they're exploring the ocean and sending you data back. I mean, tell me, Maritza, what's the bigger picture? What is this information going to be used for? And perhaps what can it tell us?
You know that the southern Chile, the situation and the habitat is changing a lot and so fast. So by using this information, we will be able to modulate how we are expecting to change due to the climate change.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Because in a way, it's like these elephant seals are actually going out there and telling us about the ocean, as opposed to us going down and seeing it for ourselves, as humans, that is. What's this experience been like for you as a scientist?
This project to me is really new because for the first time in my academic life, I am using animals just to be, like you say, by employees, to try to investigate a different thing. We are really proud to be able to work with different people and to understand and to learn new things.
Marine ecologist Maritza Sepulveda. Now, some good news about one of the world's most critically endangered species, the mountain chicken frog. These extra-large amphibians used to be found on a number of Caribbean islands, but scientists say there are now only a few dozen left in the wild. So the arrival of 6 baby mountain chicken frogs at London Zoo has been something to celebrate. Our reporter Jacob Evans went to find out more.
This is a big frog with a lot of responsibility. This big guy weighs in at about 1 kilo, and now he's a new little froglet that spawned right here in London Zoo just a few weeks ago. And if you can hear that hissing, it's because these frogs are so rare they're kept in a biosecure unit which is carefully regulated here in the zoo. Once widespread across the Lesser Antilles, the mountain chicken frog is the largest native frog in the Caribbean. It's named after its big back legs, which used to be a local delicacy that supposedly, like everything, tasted like chicken. And if you pick them up, supposedly they make a squawking noise, a bit like a chicken. But the compounding effects of natural and human pressures decimated the population. Ben Tapley is the curator of reptiles and amphibians here at the zoo.
So this is a species that has undergone the fastest ever documented decline of a vertebrate due to a disease. The mountain chicken frogs were found on about 7 different Caribbean islands historically, and they disappeared, I guess at the time where the islands were colonised by Europeans and the mongoose was introduced. So they remained on just 2 islands, Montserrat and Dominica. They're probably extinct in the wild on Montserrat. And on Dominica there are an estimated about 30 frogs remaining. So this species is in serious trouble.
As the frogs headed toward extinction, a collaboration involving London Zoo saw a handful of those that remained airlifted from the island of Dominica in a last-ditch attempt to save them. So, as you can hear, it's quite echoey in here, and that's because we're in the amphibian exhibit at the zoo, which isn't yet open to the public. And behind the glass pane in front of me are the mountain chicken frogs. I can see them there. Just perching under the leaves. They've got lovely clay flats. They've got a pond for them to rest in, and they've got lots of rocks aside the wall because they like to climb. And they've got lots of plants for cover. And then, of course, this biosecure unit has exact humidity, temperature and light needed for the frogs. And zookeeper Jamie Mitchell looks after these frogs every day.
There are some individuals that as soon as they see me will duck off into the nest or go and hide. There are other individuals that will just sit there quite happily while I'm doing my full servicing, draining a pond, scrubbing it out, refilling it, and they just sit there and completely ignore me.
What are they like as parents, the mountain chickens?
Protective, very protective. Whenever I'm doing nest checks, I have to be fairly quiet and fairly swift about checking and then moving away, because if you hang around too long, they will headbutt you to make you go away.
The 6 new babies have been celebrated by conservationists who hope their arrival will help pull the species back from the brink of extinction.
They estimate the wild population is 30, right, on Dominica, so having 6, I can't kind of emphasise how excited we were to see those little metamorphs hopping around in the nest.
Ben Tapley from London Zoo, ending that report by Jacob Evans. Last week, one of our colleagues from the BBC's Latin America service, Carlos Serrano, woke up to find a crowd.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from Sendwave.
But they
SendWave
weren't
is a money
there for
transfer
him.
app that is used by
Instead, they
people
were
all
looking
over the
at a
world to send
mural
money
that
to
had
their
been
loved
painted
ones in
on a
Africa.
wall right
With SendWave,
outside
you can
his
send money to
window.
Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clemens, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenating, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
You're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired? Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car,
At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is
UK.
Starr Radio
UK.
This is Starr Radio
UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Good morning. Welcome to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Today is the 4th day of the 4th month, the year 2024. With the time now 10:54. So lots of fours in there. Well, so it is the Thursday edition of the morning show. I am yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
And let me take this opportunity to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. Well, Well, I have to acknowledge you. So I salute you all wherever you might be. And then let me say a special good morning to my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, holding the helm, making sure everything is taken along nicely this morning. And apologies for the late start of the program as well. Yes, we were trying to fix few things there. Also, let me say massive good morning to the one and only Shamsuddin. How are you doing? Anthony Adedeji Aziz, good morning to you. Sir Moses, wherever you are this morning, I salute you. To my Bishop Adesina, massive good morning to you. And then to Mr. Olaimi Koiki, my colleague co-presenter. Yes, he's on a sabbatical, so once he's all done, he will be back. Don't you worry at all. Yomi, massive good morning to you, and also a special good morning to Mr. Frank David. Herbert, all the way in Ghana, Delta. Good morning to you, all the Hammonds there. I salute you. To Eben, all the way in Cape Town, South Africa, I salute you as well. But wherever you are this morning, it is the Thursday edition of the morning show. Do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones, and invite them to like our pages as well. But by way of program outline, I'm going to bring you the quote for the day. The weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update as well. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. That is known as the global trotting. Then after that, we continue from thence, and then we'll be bringing you the details of all the stories that is making the rounds. So we'll move on from there. At 11:45, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. And exactly at 12 o'clock, I bring the curtains down for the end of the program. So now, just that's what's going to happen today. Wherever you are, keep your dial still logged on Star Radio UK. Because from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, if it's making the headlines, why not? I'm going to touch on it. But be rest assured of one thing. The program will not be void of music. I'm going to bring you some music as well. So, all in all, yes, mixed grill for you. All right then. So now let's crack on. So the quote for the day says, in whatever you do, build a strong core and established principles against which to measure yourself. So build a strong core and establish principles where you can come back to say, nobody is even measuring you or critiquing you. You can come back and say, let's look at that, tick. No, I didn't do well in this particular place. And that is the way. That is my way of the quote for the day. So wherever you are, a word to a wise is always what? Good enough. All right? Somebody says it's in the enough, but yes. All right then. Now let's move on straight to the weather front as well. It's a mix. Do I call it a mixed grill? Yeah. In the weather front as well. This morning I was walking in town and I could feel a bit like it's breezy and it's call it a bit of showers. And I was like, what is going to happen? But well, let me tell you, if you are in the London and Southern part of England, but wherever you are listening to us from, if you want to share with us what is happening pertaining to your area, feel free. Hey, Sir Moses, all the way in UAE, I salute you as well. He tells me that the temperature is scorching, but well, sunny spells, variable cloud and scattered showers at first this afternoon, but skies progressively clouding over from the west. Rain towards evening though. Now rain will continue to push across from the west this evening and overnight. Cloudy skies, strong winds, and showery outbreaks of rain for the rest of the night. That's the story there as well. When it comes to the temperatures, top temperature is going to be 16 degrees. The lower is going to be 12 degrees. We are getting in there. Pollen level is going to be moderate. UV level moderate as well. Pollution is going to be low. Sunset 1940. And sunrise for tomorrow morning 6:28 hours. And that is the end of the weather forecast. But hey, tell you, come the weekend, Saturday like this, the temperature is going to go up to about 20 degrees. Yeah, which is good. Sunday about 16 there, but we'll be, having a milder temperature there. So wherever you are, enjoy your day. But wherever you are, don't you go away. Continue to keep your dials. So locked on Star Radio, okay, where I take you straight to the travels as well. Keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as we keep it navigated. I promise our bond, as we say on this platform. So, on the Metropolitan line this morning, we got minor delays between Harrow on the Hill and Uxbridge due to train cancellations. Good service on the rest of the line, though. On the Northern line as well. And as I just say yesterday, until 11 April, that's Thursday. 11 April, no service between Golders Green and Edgware due to planned engineering works. Replacement buses are in operation as well. Now, all the other underground lines are running a good service. London Overground, DL are good service. But the London Tram Link, also until the 24th of April, no service between Wellesley Road, George Street and Beckenham Junction, MS End and New Addington. Eastbound trams will operate from Wimbledon to Wellesley Road, and then westbound trams will operate from George Street to Wimbledon. Well, it is all coming your way from Star Radio. Now, on the major roads in London, this morning, a bit of issues there. Some serious delays on the A13, Central London Red Routes, and North Circular A406. That aside, all the others have got no exceptional delays. The River Bus is running a good service, and then the London Cable Car good service there. That brings us straight to the final segment of the travel update. That is the National Rail, and I'd rather go in for the ones that are running a good service. So the ones that are not running a good, there are a lot of them. Okay, so let me bring you that one. Avanti West Coast, C2C, Chiltern Railways, Cross Country, East Midlands Railways, First Trans-Pennine Express, Gatwick Express, Grand Central, Great Northern, Great Western Railway, Greater Anglia, London North Eastern Railway, Northern Rail, Southwestern Railway, Southeastern Railway, Southern, and Thameslink are all running special service. ScotRail is running minor delays. That is experiencing minor delays. That aside, all the others are running a good service. And how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 lines are running good service. So if you are traveling or you have any appointment, please check before you leave so you don't miss your appointment. But that's why I would say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes where? On the roads.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancer taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Star Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 4 minutes past the top of the hour. That is 4 minutes past 11, and it's now time for Global Trotting. So let's do it. Now, Abure reportedly escapes assassination and his home is gutted. Who were the perpetrators? We'll be telling you more about that. Rivers Peace Pact. I'll surprise you. Fubura warns political opponents. In other stories still making the rounds from Nigeria, the federal government increases electricity tariff to customers enjoying 20-hour power supply. Okay, well, we'll look into that later on. Now, NSCS records 1.3 trillion revenue in Q1 2024, detains 22 suspects in 4 months as well. I'll be telling you more about that. And then some other stories making our impeachment panel overrule Shaibu's objection to probe Assembly's closed case. And then LPs raises Lagos landing route capacity over rising demand. And Nigeria breweries records net loss of 106 billion to raise 600 billion capital via rights issues. Nigeria Navy discovers illegal fuel depot in Lagos and arrests 5. Breaking EFCC arrests cross-dresser Bobrisky, okay, and Transcorp Hotel PLC delivers strong performance with 36% revenue growth in 2023. Nigeria to begin local production of passports. Okay, well, they think that is the only way forward now. And then, okay, Dangote leads as Forbes unveils Africa's top 10 wealthiest people in 2024. So Dangote is on the lead. Of course, it's got good investments and so it's how you invest the money. Yeah? Okay. Listeners, is all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So now let's move on to other parts of Africa as well. Now, mixed reaction in Uganda after Constitutional Court rejects bid to nullify anti-homosexuality laws. The law is supported by many in the East African country, where some see it as a behavior imported from abroad and not a sexual orientation. Well, others are saying that, well, if you wanted to accept yours, then you also have to accept ours. And which is ours? They are thinking that ours is polygamous marriage. So accept our polygamy, and then we can accept your until. But they will say, no, that is. But you know, it goes down here, man. All right, then, Starr Radio UK. Now, South Africa embattled Speaker of Parliament Noziviwe Mapisa Ngakula has resigned. That's one of the stories making the rounds there as well. And then lone survivor of South Africa bus crash will be discharged. And then okay, so that is about, let me put it this way, the story is making the round. Gabon takes historic step towards democratic renewal. Those are some of the stories making the round. We'll be bringing you all the details of those stories in a moment, but wherever you are, stay tuned and don't touch the dial. Dumso, Ghana to suspend exporting power to neighboring countries, Atecha is saying. That Ghana is to suspend exporting to neighboring countries. But if they have a contractual agreement to do so, then what did they do? But the other time I was, sometime last week when we were having the program, I was talking of the fact that the power that is being generated from the hydroelectric dam, hydropower dam, okay, that is Kosombo and the Bui dam. Yeah. Why are they selling those ones to the foreign? Why are they not selling the expensive one to them, but rather selling that one to the citizens of the country or the inhabitants of Ghana, and rather selling the cheaper ones for foreigners, and they are buying it at a cheap price? Well, somebody will say it's a contractual agreement that was entered into, and that is brought about that. But we'll be telling you more about that. 2024 election. We will put our lives on the line to maintain peace, says who? Dampare. All right then. And Ghana to raise cocoa farm gate price by up to 50%. What is all that about? We'll be telling you more about that as we continue. Our containers are still locked at port. Hill Cat managers refute Baumia's intervention. Chairman of the Hill Kung-Fu Anoche project, Sami Edu-Boache, has refuted media claims suggesting that the Vice President, Dr. Baumia, intervened in the clearance of critical constructional materials from the Tema Harbour. But they say, no. Well, we did talk about a 63-year-old man taking in or on a 12-year-old girl as a wife. However, they say it's a betrothal. Okay. However, well, they've come out with all explanation. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, they were talking about the fact that it's not that it's underage. When I say underage, that is 12. But the girl is 16 years, and therefore now they are grooming her for the Wulomo. Okay, to now have her once she's of age. But a group calling itself Concerned Members of Nungwa Community has described the marriage of Gbogbo Wulomo to the 12-year-old girl as fabricated traditional history. This is in reaction to the alleged marriage ceremony purported. Saying that Babu's team argument to support action is uncouth. And concerned members of Nungwa have also added their voice to that. Now, there is one person who continues to predict elections in Ghana, and some way, somehow, they find their way to become real or come into being. And that is Owusu Bempah. Now, he is of the view that they say that predicting election 2024 is risky. Owusu Bempah says things changing. Is it like you seeing the odds against maybe the MPP or maybe NDC and think, no, if I go put, I go throw my hat in or I go make a prediction and it doesn't happen, people will see that I am not real. Well, maybe he's being wise, he's playing it wise there. Okay, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK as well. Now, a just by election, we can't lose two pillars at once. One to me justifies ban on constituency chairman. We'll be looking at that, the details of that story as well. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Moving on to some other parts of the world as well. Pressure grows over arms sales to Israel ahead of Biden's Netanyahu call. The US and Israeli leaders are due to speak for the first time since 7 aid workers were killed in Gaza. It's not only those 7 aid workers who have been killed that have got nothing to do with the war. I mean, they are there to help on a charity basis to support giving food and all that stuff. There are others who have died, who are just citizens or residents of Gaza who have died. We have people who have raising a white flag and they were shot, and so all those things might have that have happened there. But the issue and the question this morning is, how can they stop this war, especially when it looks like it's escalating? I don't know, but tell me more about that. You can post your comments on our Facebook page or on our YouTube page, or if when the lines are open, you can dial in at 11:45, and then I will take your calls from there. Okay, now one quake rained rocks like bullets, survivors are saying, and Myanmar's military ruled capital attacked by drones. Whoa. Well, the anti-military group are now using other tactics to fight their war there. Now, Russia's neighbors urged NATO allies to bring back military service. Okay, what do you think about that? Military service or no military service? Well, somebody say we are far off from the front, so we can just take it easy. But maybe there's a need for that. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. UK should end arms sales to Israel, says legal experts. However, it will not have much impact. That's what some are saying. It will not have much impact on the war because other UK sales, arms that UK sells to Israel is up to about £40 million only. Okay, so it's not much, but you talk about that of the US where they are selling big and making billions out of that. Then you say that if we say we stopped it, then no boot on the ground in Ukraine, says Cameron. Lord Cameron is saying air passengers face extra year of 100 ml liquid rule, and then trolls among Tory MPs at Farage's birthday party. Well, they are friends, and are they forming a clique? Are they forming a party? Come, if the election is called now, do you think that maybe getting closer to the elections, they will now come out to say we form our own political party and they do whatever things with it? What do you think about all that? Lots more going to be coming your way in details, but now let's enjoy this tune from Theodora Gospel, Pastor Theodora Boache, and she says, "What? Before I formed you." Enjoy it, and I'll be with you.
Before, yeah, Elijah, he answers by fire. He's a living God, he can see, he can hear. He knows where you're up, he knows where you're down. These are his words, let every man hear. God of Elijah, he answers by fire. He's a living God, he can see, he can hear. He knows where you're up, he knows where you're down. These are his words, let every man hear. Before I formed you in the belly, I knew your name. I call you by your name. Before I formed you in the belly, yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen now, say a righteous man's steps are ordered by God. Story times of trials, lift your eyes to the hills. He that keepeth Israel, he will watch over you. What they meant for evil, my God will work for your good. God of Elijah, he answers by fire. He's a living God, he can see, he can hear. He knows where you're up, he knows where you're down. These are his words, let every man hear. God of Elijah, he answers by fire. He's a living God, he can see, he can hear. He knows where you're up, he knows where you're down. These are his words, let every man hear. Before I formed you in the belly, I knew your name. I called you by your name. Before I formed you in the belly, yeah, 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 yeah. Now if you believe that, come on, let's say this to the world. He knows my name. He calls me friend. I have the key. He's on my side. Come on, he knows my name. He calls me friend. I have the key. He's on my side. Say he knows my name. He calls me friend. I have the key. He's on my side. Before I found you in the valley, I knew your name. I called you by your name.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
He's a living God, he can see, he can hear. He knows where you're up, he knows where you're down. These are his
Well, some ragga tune there for you from Pastor Theodora Boache and San Theodora Gospel. It's been a long time I enjoyed some reggae ragga, but this morning, well, I hope that I've made your day by giving you or bringing some reggae ragga your way. Well, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. This is the Thursday edition of the morning show. Well, we're going to be cracking on because at 12 o'clock we bring the curtains down for the end of the program. For now, let's move on to look at some of the stories making the rounds. Starting from Nigeria, Abure reportedly escaped assassination. His home has been gutted. The national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, yesterday reportedly escaped an assassination attempt on him at his Abuja home. It was gathered that the residence was also gutted by a mysterious fire which started a few minutes after 1 a.m. while Abure and family members were fast asleep. According to a relative who narrated the incident, the family was woken up by the alarm raised by neighbors and security men living in the compound. The entire household was said to have been trapped as the inferno had extended to the staircase. Well, the Labour Party National Publicity Secretary Obiora Ifo, who also confirmed the development, said it took a divine intervention for Abure and his family to escape after neighbors and security men gallantly pulled down one of the windows upstairs to make way for them. He added that men of the fire service arrived shortly after they had been evacuated. Abure and his family were rushed to a private hospital where they are presently receiving treatment. The condition is, however, stable, the spokesman said. Well, who are the perpetrators? Why? What is wrong with the Labour Party? I bet you, well, maybe that's why the leader, the presidential candidate for them, was saying that's was saying that he's not going to be part of. He's not sure that come the next election he's going to be part of them. Okay, Port Harcourt, Rivers State Governor says Simanalayi Fubara has warned that he will surprise those who consider his honest decision to implement the Presidential Peace Pact as a sign of weakness. Now, Governor Fubara said he had been inundated with several comments in the media about the implementation of peace initiative and had chosen to be silent out of maturity and wisdom. It will be recalled that at the height of the political crisis in the state, President Bola Tinubu in December 2023 brokered an 8-point peace deal between Governor Fubara and his predecessor, Chief Nyashom Wike, who is the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory at the Presidential Villa Abuja, urging the duo who were at loggerheads over the political control of the state to sheath their swords. Part of the peace resolution stipulated that the impeachment move against Fubara be stopped and that the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Martin Amewuheli, who is also the leader of pro-Wike 27 lawmakers who defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress, be retained as Speaker after Edison Ehi four-man house that was recognized by the court deposed him, while Ehi steps down as Speaker. Additionally, that all matters in the court be withdrawn and the governor resubmits the state's 800 billion naira 2024 budget to the whole house after Edison's Ehi's four-man house passed the budget upon receiving it from Governor Fubara. But Governor Fubara, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Nelson Chukudi, on Wednesday emphasized that it was important to put the record straight for clarity's sake, explaining that when President Bola Tinubu intervened in the political crisis that engulfed the state of on October 30, 2023, the agreement that was accepted was a political solution. So let's see. We'll be following them very, very closely to see what is going to happen there. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK at 11:23, and it is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Running behind time, so let's move on. Now, over impeachment, panel overrules Shaibu's objection to probe Assembly's closed case. Now, the retired Justice S.A. Omonua 7-man panel set up by the Chief Judge of the Edo State Justice Daniel Okugbowa to investigate allegation of gross misconduct against the Deputy Governor, Mr. Philip Shaibu, yesterday ruled that it will continue its investigation as there was no court order for closing it. The ruling came after counsel to Shaibu, Professor Oludeyin Awoyale, raised objection to the continuation of the investigation in view of the order of an Abuja Federal High Court. Well, let them sort it out from the courts, or if they want interpretation, let them get in there and get the information from there. Now, the federal government is increasing electricity tariff for customers enjoying 20-hour power supply. The Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission has given approval for an increase in electricity tariffs for customers classified under Band A, who typically enjoy a minimum of 20 hours of electricity supply per day. Now, Band A customers represent approximately 15% of the total 12 million electricity consumers in the country. Now, during a press conference held in Abuja on Wednesday, Vice Chairman of Nigeria Electricity, Mozilu Oseni, announced that the approved increase will see Band A customers paying 225 naira per kilowatt hour, and a significant rise from the current rate of 66 naira. Now, Oseni further disclosed that some customers previously classified under Band A have been downgraded to Band B due to the failure of the electricity distribution company to meet the required hours of electricity supply. It goes on further to say, we currently have 800 feeders that are categorized as Band A, but it will now be reduced to under 500. This means that 15% now qualify as Band A feeders. These feeders are only service 15% of the total electricity customers connected to the feeders. The Commission has issued an order which is titled April Supplementary Order, and the Commission allows 235 kilowatts per hour, he disclosed. He went on to say that the review will have no effect on customers who are or who use other brands. Okay, it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, Nigerian Navy have disclosed illegal fuel depot in Lagos and have arrested 5 people. The Nigerian Navy ship B. Croft has uncovered an illegal fuel depot at number 3 Silver Bed Road, Ilasun, Lekki, Lagos State. Now, the NNS B. Croft spokesperson Hussaini Ibrahim said it arrested 5 suspects in the process, including the leader of the syndicate, Ahmed Ario. The suspects were arrested in the private apartment where they carried out their illegal activities. The discovery of the legal fuel depot, according to NNS B. Croft Commander Rafiu Tai Oledejo, was a follow-up to credible intelligence reports regarding suspicious activities at the Elegoshi beach. Now, Oledejo disclosed that this necessitated the deployment of NNS B. Croft Quick Response Team to move to the location. He added that the illegal fuel depot contains 8 storage tanks of 50,000 liters capacity each, laden with about 57,000 liters of AGO, a tanker laden with about 7,000 liters, a bus with 30 jerry cans laden with about 1,500 liters. The total recovered products amount to approximately 65,000 liters of AGO valued at an estimated 89 million naira based on current market prices, Oledejo said. Now, Oledejo also revealed that the 8 storage tanks have the potential to hold a maximum of 400,000 liters if filled with AGO, valued at about 500 million naira. The preliminary investigation, according to him, revealed that the suspects possibly got the product through pipeline vandalism, illegal vendors at sea, as well as other illegal means along the coastline. He said the suspects have been handed over to Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps for further investigation and possible prosecution. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio. How easy is it for people who want to maybe build some small oil refinery or something of the sort? How easy is it for them to be able to register? How easy? Well, it's all coming your way from London. It's on Starr Radio UK. Now, EFCC have arrested a cross-dresser known as Bobrisky. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arrested controversial cross-dresser Idris Okeneye, popularly known as Bobrisky, over abuse of naira, spraying of notes, and currency mutilation. He was reportedly arrested in Lagos on Wednesday night and had been detained at the Lagos command of the EFCC. Confirming his arrest on Thursday, the spokesperson for the EFCC, Dele Oyewale, noted that Bobrisky will be charged to court. Now, Oyewale said, Bobrisky is with us. He was arrested last night in Lagos and he is at our Lagos command. We arrested him for alleged abuse of naira notes, spraying of naira notes, and currency mutilation, among others. We are very serious about restoring the dignity of the naira. Now, if he's spraying the naira notes, I mean, that's what you people do. They go for parties and then they try to spray the money on the person. What is wrong? He's spraying the money. It's money that Baba. When it comes to the mutilation, then that I have a bit of problem with that. I mean, it's not the bank, so it's not got the right to mutilate any money there. But listeners, this is where I have to bring the updates from Nigeria to a close. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time to 11:30. Let's take a quick commercial break. We come back and we continue with the show. Stay tuned and don't you go away. Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa will provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time exactly to 11:31 from the Hearts of London. And we continue with the Thursday edition of the morning show. Yes. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well as we continue. So let's move on. Let's move on straight to some of the stories making the rounds this morning. Now, in other parts of Africa, in Uganda, information coming through says people in Uganda reacted with mixed views after the country's constitutional court upheld Wednesday an anti-gay law that allows the death penalty for aggravated homosexuality. The court in Uganda capital Kampala rejected the petitioner's request to quash the law despite widespread condemnation from right groups and others abroad. Now, President Yoweri Museveni signed the bill into law in May last year. The law is supported by many in the East African country, where some see it as a behavior imported from abroad and not a sexual orientation. Now, Constitutional Court judges said the law was legally passed by Parliament and does not violate the Constitution. Homosexuality was already illegal in Uganda under colonial-era law criminalizing sexual activity against the order of nature. The punishment for that offense is life imprisonment. The law in question defines aggravated homosexuality as cases of homosexual relations involving a minor and other categories of vulnerable people, or when the perpetrator is infected with HIV. Now, a suspect convicted of attempted aggravated homosexuality can be imprisoned for up to 14 years, and the offense of attempted homosexuality is punishable by up to 10 years. Now, the court, however, ruled that members of the gay community should not be discriminated against when seeking medication. Uganda was one of the earliest and hardest hit countries when AIDS emerged, and public health experts have long warned against letting stigma or fear of punishment impede access to care. Listeners, this is Star Radio UK, and this is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Some other stories making the rounds from the African front. South Africa's Parliament Speaker resigned on Wednesday and relinquished her seat in the legislature over allegations of corruption a day after she lost a bid in court that will block her arrest. The prosecutors last week said they intend to charge Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa Nkakula with corruption, accusing her of receiving about $135,000 in bribes from a defense contractor during her 3-year as defense minister. She allegedly received the payments between December 2016 and 2019, while another bribe amounting to $105,000 was not paid. Mapisa Nakula announced in a statement that she has tendered her resignation, but insisted she was innocent of the accusations against her. In a quote, she said, "I've made this conscious decision in order to dedicate my time and focus to deal with the recently announced investigations against me by our country's law enforcement agencies," she said. And resignation is in no way an indication of admission of guilt regarding the allegation being leveled against me. Media reports in South Africa alleged that on one occasion in February 2019, she received more than $15,000 and a week at at the country's main international airport. Now, Mapisa Nkakula's party, the African National Congress, is set to fight a crucial election this year against the backdrop of high unemployment, rising poverty, and anger over various allegations of corruption against its leaders. Now, recent polls suggest that the party could receive less than 50% of electoral support, the lowest level since it came into power in the country's first all-race vote at the end of apartheid in 1994. After Mapisa Nakula's announcement, it remained unclear if she would be taken into custody or surrender to authorities on her own, after North Gauteng High Court dismissed her motion to avoid arrest. Listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, and this is the Thursday edition of the morning show. Some stories, sir, from the African front. In a monumental move marking a significant shift in Gabonese politics, the nation has embarked on a national dialogue aimed at revitalizing its democratic institution after 54 years under the Bongo dynasty, led by President Felix Tshisekedi. The dialogue signifies a crucial step towards fostering hope for a brighter future in the country. The initiative, spearheaded by Archbishop John Patrick Ibaba and attended by over 4,000 citizens at the Libreville Sports Palace, symbolizes a collective effort to chart a new course for Gabon amidst the gathering. The sentiments of unity and determination to speak with one voice resonated strongly among attendees. The central to the dialogue is the aspiration to create a more just, fraternal, and prosperous Gabon, as articulated by Archbishop Ibaba. Participants including transitional Senator Amel Yembi and trade unionist Sylvain Mayabi Bennett voiced the aspirations for Gabon's wealth to be equitably distributed among its people, emphasizing the need for genuine socio-economic development. Now, one of the key figures in the dialogue, Insasi Molombi, representing civil society, underscored the importance of overcoming past challenges and fostering a renewed sense of purpose. He expressed optimism about the potential for positive change, citing recent signs of progress and emphasizing the role of vision and determination in shaping Gabon's future. The outcomes of the national dialogue are expected to be translated into legislation, laying the underground work for a new constitution that will be put to a referendum, allowing the Gabonese people to have a direct say in shaping the country's democratic framework. Listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. This is the Thursday edition of the morning show. Now, the government, through the Energy Ministry, has ordered the suspension of exportation of electricity to neighboring countries as a measure to curtail the ongoing erratic power supply. This is according to Chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Mines and Energy and MP for Ebuakwa South Constituency, Samuel Atecha. The country has for about a month been experiencing a perpetual erratic power supply, plunging some regions into total darkness. The directive comes barely a month after Chief Executive Officer of the Independent Power Generators Ghana, the IPGG, Dr. Elekplim Apetogbo, accused the VRA of excessive power exportation, claiming it is affecting the ability of the country to supply enough power to meet domestic obligation. Speaking in an interview, Atecha revealed the moves is to reaffirm the president's commitment in resolving the prevailing instability in the power supply. He said, "I don't know whether the order has been carried out, but I hear it has been given that by reason of what is happening, the president is saying, I believe it is eminently sensible that, look, no matter what you are raking in from external export of electricity, stop it and let us benefit first. Because the president has been very strong and powerful in terms of giving us power all these 7 years. Really? Okay. So if anybody is very much concerned in terms of legacy delivery, then is the president, and I'm sure he's doing or going to do everything to secure us a normal power as you've enjoyed this 7 years. Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Majority justify 400% increment in passport fees. Well, so if you hail from Ghana and you have to go and acquire your passport, I can tell you the rate is going up 400%. I don't know whether, yeah, for sure. So the majority in Parliament has mounted a spirited defense for the government over the 400% increment in the fees for the acquisition of passport. According to the MPs, the subsidiary legislation committee of Parliament had to beat down the 700 cedis proposed by the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. A section of the public has kicked against the increments, which has now seen the cost of regular passport jump from 100 to 500 cedis. But addressing the media in Parliament, Chairman for the Committee on Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Andy Appiah Kobe, the increment had become necessary in order to remove the 400 cedis government subsidy per passport. That's government subsidized passports? Interesting. And those are, I mean, it's well-to-do people who normally acquire this passport, isn't it? But well, you want to know more, stay tuned and don't you go away. More going to be coming your way from there. It is Star Radio UK. This is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, pertaining to the doomsaw, former President John Mahama has described comments on the prevailing power crisis by Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as disrespectful and unwarranted. This comes on the back of Dr. Opoku Prempeh's comment that the demands for a load shedding timetable by the Electricity Company of Ghana is unnecessary. But the National Democratic Congress flag bearer disagrees. According to him, the current power outages, also known as doomsaw, is as a result of mismanagement of the power sector by President Akufo-Addo's administration. Now, the country has been plunged into darkness, mismanagement of generating assets, collateralization of ESLA, which was meant to provide the resources to finance current and legacy debt, has led us back to doomsaw. The best government can do is to eat humble pie, take responsibility for the problem, and work to address it. Unfortunately, that is not the case. I'm aware that the business and households cannot plan because of the erratic power situation. So why are they not coming out with a plan? I mean, a timetable, so that you know that you can plan your day. You know that, well, this part of the country or my vicinity is going to be experiencing doomsaw, so I can do that or do that. The Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Okufu-Dampare, has assured the police service dedication to preserving the current state of tranquility in the nation. According to the IGP, the police personnel in the service are committed to put their lives on the line to maintain peace come December 7 presidential and parliamentary election. In the quote, he said, as long as there is Ghana, we, the police service, will continue to put our lives on the line to ensure that our country, which is our beloved country, continues to enjoy peace and continue to be at peace with itself. IGP said during the inauguration ceremony of a new brick modular police station in Kwewu, Asakraka, in the Eastern region. Listeners, this is Star Radio UK. This is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The founder of the leader of the Glorious Word Power Ministries International, Reverend Isaac Owusu-Bempah, has emphasized the need for anyone seeking to predict the outcome of the 2024 general election to be excessively cautious. But isn't he the one who has been predicting lots of elections? Now, according to him, the election which will be decided spiritually is currently shrouded in uncertainty. Therefore, any attempt at prophesying the outcome will most likely turn out differently. As I speak to you, in a quote he said, what has made Ghana's election in 2024 scary is that whoever will boldly assert that a certain individual is the destined winner should be very careful because things keep changing, he said to a radio station. He emphasized that the upcoming election is more of a spiritual battle than a physical one, and that the candidate with the strongest spiritual backing will emerge as a winner. Interesting, isn't it? We spiritualize everything. All right then, listeners, Starr Radio UK. It means so when somebody is robbing us, we spiritualize it. It's good to rob us, isn't it? All right then, let's move on to this part of the world as well, since we've got about only 40 minutes. But if you have any comments that you want to put across, or you have any suggestion or anything of the sort, feel free to do so. Just call us on 0208-133-2257, or you can text us 0753-966-1744. 0753-966-1744. Also, our X handle is at Starr Radio UK, and email address is info@starradiouk.com. All right then. Okay, just bear with me, because I was looking at a message that has come in, but no, it's it. Okay. All right. Now, in other parts of the world, pressure grows over arms sales to Israel ahead of Biden's meeting with Netanyahu. Now, pressure is growing on the UK government to suspend arms sales to Israel after 7 aid workers were killed in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza. More than 600 legal experts have written to the Prime Minister saying exports must end because the UK risks breaking international law over plausible risk of genocide in the enclave. Meanwhile, World Central Kitchen founder Jose Andre has accused Israeli forces in Gaza of targeting its aid workers systematically, car by car. Now, Israeli Economy Minister Ner Barkat told the BBC it was nonsense to suggest Israel would deliberately target aid workers. Now, some charities have paused their operation since the strike, increasing fears of starvation. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has called for an independent investigation, but stopped short of saying arms sales should end. President Biden is due to speak with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu later, their first direct contact since that strike. Now, interestingly, when it comes to the UK, information that is coming through is that, well, our security agencies share intel with the IDF, because they give most of the foiled suicide or terrorist attacks and stuff like that credible ones had come from the IDF. So, though they are selling, if they get to a place where they say, okay, we're not going to be giving you that information because you say you're not going to be selling us arms, then what happens? There's the fear that is going to result in a blackout when it comes to some of this information, security or intel, and calamity could happen. So what do you think? Well, it's coming your way from Starr Radio UK. 11 minutes to the top of the hour, or to the end of the program. The opposition in Myanmar has claimed a rare mass drone attack on the country's embattled junta government in the heavily guarded capital, Naypyidaw. The National Unity Government, which calls itself the government in exile, said it deployed 29 drones armed with explosives to the airport, Air Force Base, and Army headquarters. The junta said it had intercepted the drones, shooting down 7, including one which exploded on a runway. There were no casualties, they said. The NUG represents the elected civilian government previously led by Aung San Suu Kyi, which was toppled in coup in 2021. Since then, it and other opposition groups have been fighting the junta's regime, which has begun losing control of large swaths of the country. The country's 3-year civil war has killed thousands and displaced about 2.6 million people, according to the UN. Thursday morning attack on the capital marked another bold and rare incursion by the resistance groups who are mounting an increasingly effective opposition to the junta. Now Pinto is a center of power for the military regime, which named it the capital, replacing Yangon after it came to rule. Heavily guarded, it has been shielded from much of the fighting that has raged elsewhere across the country. Last week, the junta even staged its annual Armed Forces Day parade in the city, but the event, which showcased tanks, armored vehicles, and thousands of soldiers, took place at night. On Thursday, representatives from the NUG, Burmese, they had planned this, and strategized with several defense groups to conduct the drone attacks. The synchronized drone operation was simultaneously executed against Nyaw Peel Tor, targeting both the military headquarters and our air base. NUG's Deputy Secretary MG Sway had said there. Listeners, this is Starr Radio UK. This is the Thursday edition of the morning show. Now, a final story from this front, and then we go to the UK and look at some of the stories making the rounds there. Rain drips down the glasses of new recruit Taivo Sabas, tracing the contours of the green and black face painted complete his camouflage. Now, lying on the saturated ground and peering through the sight of his gun, the only frailty that threatens to give away his position is the plume of air he breathes out silently into the icy Estonian forest. Then comes the deafening call to attack. The 25-year-old springs to his feet, forming a line with his brothers in arms. He bounds through the trees towards the Russian border. As he advances to the clatter of enemy fires, Southampton University mechanical engineering graduate knows that one day this could all be for real. We're practicing for any threat, he says. Now, we're ready for anything that comes to Estonia, and we're ready to defend the country. The question is, should we make military service compulsory? As they're saying, it's a threat from Russia, from China, from Iran. What do you think? It's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. We're going to be ending the program in a jiffy, but now let me bring you what is happening here in the UK. When it comes to the war that is happening in Ukraine, Lord Cameron has ruled out Western troops being sent into Ukraine to avoid giving Russian President Vladimir Putin a target. The Foreign Secretary acknowledged that the war will be lost if the Allies don't step up. But asked whether Western nations should send troops into Ukraine, Lord Cameron replied, no. He added that NATO must be in the best possible shape by the US elections. Lord Cameron was speaking at the 2-day North Atlantic Treaty Organization summit of 32 foreign ministers in Brussels. Now, NATO boss Jens Stoltenberg has floated plans for €100 billion or 8 to 6 billion pounds 5-year packed military aid to Ukraine, with the aim of finalizing a package in time for the next summit in Washington in July. The move is aimed at allaying concerns around the outcome of the US election in November, with candidate Donald Trump suggesting the US could cut support and claiming some NATO members were not paying their way. One diplomat quoted by the Reuters news agency suggested a package goes some way to protecting in case of Trump, but it is impossible to create something Trump-proof. Now, Lord Cameron said he'd been making his second visit to the United States since becoming Foreign Secretary next week, and will be urging Congress to give more financial support, which could change the narrative in Ukraine. But do you think the Western world, those countries who are not, paying their quota with the support that Ukraine needs, who are not doing or upping their game or stepping up to be counted. What do you think that is all going to be happening there? Coming your way from Star Radio UK. An apology has been issued by a council subcontractor after a mural of the late writer, poet and actor Benjamin Zephaniah was painted over in Birmingham. The authorities said crews had been instructed to leave artwork within the underpass area in Hockley, but the protection order did not include outside walls where the painting was seen. The city council added it will seek to add a particular section of the Hockley subway system to the order. Its highway subcontractor Kia said it apologized for any hurt or distress we have caused by painting over this mural. The spokesperson said crews were carrying out their standard duties and there was no ill intent, but they accepted the upset caused by our actions. Nakia said it was working with the council to review the gravity removal process with a view to ensure more sensitivity is demonstrated moving forward. The subcontractor said it will welcome the opportunity to work with the artists and provide supplies in order to recreate artwork to represent Benjamin and his life. Well, you see some of the underparts and then you have the gravities there and stuff like that. But this was a special one because Benjamin Zephaniah died. What did he die sometime this year or last year? He was a poet. I remember him very, very well. For somebody knowing that, at least, so of course the minority in that particular part of the country, in Birmingham specifically, I will not be happy with that. But what do you think about all that? Lots more will be coming your way, of course, tomorrow, God willing, when we come your way once again. But hey, for those of you who will be traveling, especially those on the Easter holidays, and some of us are not on the Easter holidays, we have to be here, right? Okay. But those of you traveling, well, airline passengers at major airports will continue to face limits on the amount of liquid they can carry in hand luggage this summer after a deadline for new scanners was extended. Now, major airports will be allowed by the government to miss the latest rollout date for installing scanners to end the 100 ml liquid limit. The London, Gatwick, Heathrow and Manchester airports are not expected to have the technology in place in time for June 1 or 1st of June. The delay could last for up to a year. Airports had to apply individually for extension, which could mean passengers may have to continue removing liquids and laptops from hand luggage until June 2025. Now, smaller airports such as Teesside, London City, Birmingham, Newcastle have new security screening technology in place and expect to go live on time. A Department for Transport source said the delays were for genuine reasons. The Civil Aviation Authority will impose financial penalties on airports that keep missing deadlines, the DFT said. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I bring the program to a close for today. It's been a pleasure coming your way. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie. But let's take this tune. And what best tune can I bring your way this morning than the Zongo man saying, "Where is the dollar?" Well, it's a Commonwealth, right? But where is the dollar? What do you call them? Gabon people were saying that they need the resources of the country or the revenue that is being created from the oil and all those stuff to be shared equitably among the people. Okay, so developmental stuff and everything, so that everybody can know or see that they are all benefiting from it. But where is the dollar? That's the question from the Zogoma. When the song ends and you don't hear from me, it will be me actually saying, have a top of the day. Bye bye for now.
This is Starr Radio UK.